In 1981, the US military didn't just close Camp Hero, they sealed it. If this sounds familiar, it should. Netflix Stranger Things creators admitted their secret government facility was inspired by this very real base. But the truth about Montauk is far darker than fiction. Tons of concrete poured into underground chambers, classified equipment stripped out overnight. Local residents watched convoys of unmarked trucks disappear into the base at 3 a.m., while the massive SAGE radar dish, powerful enough to fry seabirds in mid-flight, spun wildly for 3 straight days. Then silence. Today, that radar dish stands frozen, pointed at something the government doesn't want us to see. Camp Hero is now a state park, but motion sensors still guard empty bunkers, and military-grade security cameras watch an abandoned base. The official story? Coastal Defense Station, nothing more. But declassified MKUltra files suggest the government was neck-deep in mind control experiments right here. Right when locals reported their electronics going haywire and time itself seemed to skip like a scratched record. To understand what really happened at Montauk, we need to go back to 1943 and the Navy's infamous Philadelphia experiment. Declassified documents confirm the military was attempting to develop radar invisibility technology. But, according to multiple witnesses, they achieved something far more dangerous. The USS Eldridge didn't just vanish from Philadelphia's naval yard. Sailors reported seeing it materialize in Norfolk, Virginia, before snapping back to Philadelphia. The crew's fate? Classified. But rumors persisted of men being found fused into the ship's metal hull, their screens permanently embedded in the steel. By the 1970s, Camp Hero's underground facilities were humming with something much bigger than coastal defense. Like Hawkins' lab, this seemingly innocent military installation masked a multi-level underground research facility. The base's SAGE radar system, officially designed to detect Soviet bombers, was being used for a darker purpose. Local fishermen's radios picked up fragments of bizarre transmissions, voices speaking backwards, sequences of numbers that caused splitting headaches, and sounds that witnesses described as what static would sound like if it could scream. In the dead of the night, residents would wake simultaneously from the same nightmare, a dark figure moving through endless tunnels, while time itself seemed to bend and fold around them. Then, Preston Nichols came forward. A former technical contractor at Camp Hero, Nichols revealed what the massive radar dish was really broadcasting. Frequencies designed to manipulate human consciousness, particularly in young subjects. The SAGE radar system could generate electromagnetic fields strong enough to alter human brain patterns, and something far worse. According to Nichols and other whistleblowers, one experiment in particular went catastrophically wrong. They claim a young psychic subject strapped into the Montauk chair, a device designed to amplify psychic abilities, manifested something from another dimension. Whatever emerged was powerful enough to tear through steel doors and concrete walls. Military personnel who encountered it reportedly suffered severe psychological trauma, with several committed to psychiatric care still unable to coherently describe what they saw. The base's sudden shutdown and flooding with concrete allegedly came immediately after this incident. Locals reported seeing prowling shadows near the base perimeter. But these weren't normal shadows. Witnesses described them as having mass, like patches of darkness that seemed to breathe. The most disturbing evidence emerged on July 13, 2008, when something washed up on Ditch Plains Beach, less than 3 miles from Camp Hero. The locals who found it had never seen anything like it. A hairless, leathery creature with a beak-like face, like something that had crawled through a portal from another dimension. Between 2008 and 2015, 3 more unidentified creatures washed up along this stretch of the coastline. They were quickly removed by hazmat-suited officials who never released their findings. Witnesses described the last specimen as seeming to still be in the process of becoming something else when it was found. In 2019, a thermal imaging drone captured something that should have been impossible. Flying over the supposedly abandoned base, it recorded heat signatures deep within the sealed structure, heat signatures that moved in patterns no known animal would make. More disturbing still, the thermal patterns seemed to shift and split, as if the entity was existing in multiple states simultaneously. Moments later, an electromagnetic pulse crashed the drone's systems. The recovered footage supposedly showed something emerging from one of the sealed bunker doors, something that appeared to bend and distort the air around it before the camera failed. Analysis of the final frames showed what experts called temporal smearing, as if the creature was moving through multiple moments in time at once. Local paranormal investigators have catalogued over 50 separate sightings of what they believe to be the same entity since 1983. Reports describe it as constantly changing, like watching evolution happen in real time, and moving like it's remembering how to exist in our dimension. While millions stream fictional stories about secret government labs and psychic children, the real facility that inspired them sits in plain sight on Long Island's coast. But, unlike the monsters of Stranger Things, the entity that escaped from Camp Hero wasn't confined to a single town or a single dimension. The next time you're driving past Camp Hero at night and your radio starts picking up voices that don't quite sound human, remember, you're not watching a show you can turn off. You're just another witness to something that never stopped emerging. And unlike Hawkins' lab, this nightmare may still be hunting for new subjects.